In this first segment, we will cover the 3 parts of the planter frame which must be checked on the first pass of each season. We are assuming you have already fully serviced the planter. For a refresher on this topic, follow the link for planter maintenance. Before we get into leveling the planter, let's take a moment to understand what can go wrong if we don't get this right on the first pass. When the 7x7 bar slopes forward, the row cleaners may not clean as wide of a path for the gauge wheels, as well as what is cleaned may be too aggressive, causing furrowing and the seed to be planted below grade, which in more fluid soils can wash back into the furrow after a pivot pass, causing the seed to be planted deeper than intended. At the disc openers, when the bar is sloped forward, we are changing the angle of engagement, which results in a narrower furrow and less pressure on the Keaton seed firmer, which increases the risk the seed will not be placed at a consistent depth, which leads to inconsistent emergence and lost yield potential. This forward sloping bar also reduces the force on the closing system, which reduces our ability to completely close the furrow, which also leads to inconsistent emergence and loss of yield potential. On the flip side, when the 7x7 bar is sloped backwards, we can cause a number of opposing problems. At the row cleaners, they will get less force on them, resulting in an increased risk of residue not being swept out of the path of the disc opener. This increases the risk of residue being hairpinned in the furrow, which delays the seed's ability to imbibe moisture and emerge evenly to its neighbor. The sloping back bar causes the attack angle of the disc blade to rotate forward out of the bottom of the furrow, which results in a W in the bottom of the furrow. This W makes it harder for the Keaton seed firmer to ensure the seed is placed at a consistent depth. Depending upon if the seed lands on the center of the W or on one of the low points on either side. The bar sloping backward increases the force on the closing system, which can result in an overcompacted furrow in heavy soils with ample moisture, which increases the time it takes for these seeds to emerge, increasing their variability and yield loss. In order to prevent all of these problems, we want to make sure that the 7x7 bar is level front to back and side to side. When the planter is lowered and planting through the field, the 7x7 bar should be ever so slightly nose high relative to the ground. When looking at an M-set mini hopper or larger boxes, the front of the box should be about 1/8 of an inch higher in the front than the back. On planters with compact mini hoppers, we want to be looking at the 7x7 bar and ensuring that the front of the bar is about 1/32 of an inch higher in the front than the rear. On 3-point planters, this can be adjusted by the top link. To raise the front of the bar, extend the top link, or to lower the front of the bar, retract the top link. On 3-point planters with lift assist wheels, the top link is not used, so your point of control will be the chocks in the lift assist cylinders. To raise the front of the bar, decrease the total length of chocks in the cylinder. Or to lower the front of the bar, increase the total length of the chocks in the cylinders. When you are done, make sure you have the same combination of chocks on each cylinder in order to ensure that the lift assist wheels are kept level side to side. The principle is the same for all drawn planters. To raise the front of the bar, raise the tongue. To lower the front of the bar, lower the tongue. For drawn planters with 2-point hitches, these are the easiest to dial in, using the 3-point hitch. When you have the bar leveled, make sure to set that height as the lower limit on the tractor's 3-point control system so you can quickly return to it after unfolding the frame. On scissor hitches, commonly used on the Deere Bauer frames, this is the most tedious to set, for you normally need the entire stroke of the cylinder to fold and unfold the frame. So leaving chocks on for a consistent return point is not feasible. One option is to use chocks but pull them before folding and then install them after unfolding at the next field. Another option is to measure the exposed rod on the cylinder upon getting the bar level, and getting it adjusted back to this distance each time the frame is unfolded. On fixed hitch drawn planters, there are a number of positions the hitch can be bolted into. to set the height of the tongue. When you have these hitch bolts out, inspect them for wear and replace them if wear becomes visible. The parallel arms have their own set of problems they can inflict on the row unit when they are not running level. When parallel arms slope from the 7x7 bar down to the row unit, the downforce weight transfer system cannot transfer as much weight from the frame to the row unit, which can result in inadequate weight on the row unit to overcome the forces pushing up on the row unit, which often results in seed being planted shallow and emerging later than its neighbor and losing yield as a result of what it could have reached. On the flip side, when the parallel arms slope down from the row unit to the 7x7 bar, the downforce weight transfer system can transfer more weight than what the row unit needs to stay at depth. This extra weight is carried by the gauge wheels, which in heavier moist soils can make it harder for the closing system to fully close the furrow and restrict root growth later in the season. To get the most out of our downforce system and prevent these risks, we want to make sure the parallel arms are running level. Though before we can start working on leveling the parallel arms, we want to make sure that the planter is level side to side. On 3-point planters, this is corrected through adjusting the frame wheels. You will want to start on the center 2 frame wheels and inspect the position of the parallel arms of the rows between these 2 wheels. The parallel arms are supposed to be level relative to the ground. If they slope down from the row unit to the 7x7 bar, you will need to turn the adjustment bolt counterclockwise to raise the 7x7 bar until the parallel arms are level. If the arms slope from the 7x7 bar into the row unit, the adjustment bolts need to be turned clockwise to lower the 7x7 bar until the arms are level. When you have the center section level, you should have the same distance between the turnings on both of the frame wheels. Continue the process across the remaining frame wheels until all the parallel arms are level. As you double check the 7x7 bar, ensure that it is still level. In extreme cases, you may have to level the bar and the parallel arms several times to get everything evened out. On drawn planters, we want to make sure that all the tire sizes are as the manufacturer intended them to be. Beyond that, if the parallel arms are not level, we need to inspect the wheel arms to see if there are different holes that the wheels could be bolted into, which allows the adjustment of the height of the bar. If the parallel arms slope down from the row unit into the 7x7 bar, you need to move the wheels to a lower hole to raise the bar until the parallel arms are level. If the arms slope from the 7x7 bar down into the row unit, you need to move the wheel to a higher hole to lower the bar until the arms are level. On Deerbauer frames, there are 2 holes where the cylinder can be pinned in on the center section. The top hole is typically used for no-till, and the bottom hole is typically used for tilled fields. Each time you change tillage types in season, you need to double check how the frame wheels are interacting with the soil, and if adjustments are needed in order to keep the parallel arms level. You only have one chance to set the maximum yield potential for each season. Take the time for the basics of leveling the planter so it has the chance of staging each seed to reach its full potential. If you run into challenges leveling your planter beyond what is covered within this segment, call your client success advisor, or if you do not have one, drop us a line at 208-250-3455. Until next time, make it a blessed day.